Ahoy hoy all, Druss here, and welcome back to another Conquest Reforged video. Today in this video I'm going to be starting a new series on decorating interiors of houses, focused obviously on the Conquest Reforged mod pack. And I was going to just do one video on it, but a friend of mine, Sil, suggested that I do multiple videos on it detailing different rooms, so sitting rooms and kitchens and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm going to do. So today's video will be focused on sitting rooms or living rooms, and to begin I'm going to show you a vanilla type room that I've decorated, and then compare that with a Conquest Reforged one that I've also done. Now this would have been a typical vanilla furnishings that I would have completed when I was playing on vanilla. I've done my best to make it as detailed as possible, to be fair, because I want a fair comparison with the mod pack. So here we have a typical sitting room. There are no windows in this particular sitting room. You don't, obviously you can have them, but in this instance I didn't have it. And I've just done some fairly simple things like the usual stair seats with signposts as armrests, a little scaffolding table with a trapdoor on top of it, a little table using inverted stairs and just some decorations on top, a bookshelf, again a little bit of dead coral as a decoration. That thing on the wall is actually a Conquest Reforged clock, because while this is a vanilla house, I'm using Conquest Reforged, or well, Conquest textures, but within the Conquest Reforged mod pack. Again, just a little painting and a fireplace. The room is lit with a lantern and a hanging lantern, and to support the roof I've used slab blocks just as an extra feature. So as I said, just as detailed as I would have. As you can see, there's a little lever, well, two levers there suspending a shelf unit, and just some barrel blocks as an additional cabinet. Over here we have a dresser or a bureau, or my attempt at a bureau. Actually within vanilla this would look slightly better, probably just that owing to the specific blocks I've used. In the center I've used a loom block, and within vanilla the side profile of a loom block actually looks like a shelf unit. So there we have it. This is my vanilla one. As I mentioned, it is my best effort to do a convincing interior decoration of a vanilla build, and we're just going to compare this now to the Conquest Reforged one, and we'll also I'll go over some little small techniques that you can use within the Conquest Reforged mod pack to further enhance furnishings and decorations within interiors of a sitting room. Okay, so next up we have the Conquest Reforged version. Okay, and here we are in the Conquest Reforged version of the sitting room, and I've attempted to keep it relatively similar just in order for comparison purposes. So let's just begin by noticing the carpet. Conquest Reforged 1.15 and above has some beautiful specific carpet blocks that, using connected textures, can make really beautiful floors in your builds. So I'll just draw attention to that to begin with. The fireplace can be far more ornate as well, using things like specific column blocks. The walls themselves, again, are far more detailed. In the vanilla version of the walls I just used an oak plank as a base, and then just some yellow terracotta, but again we can have more detailed, more generally beautiful walls using the Conquest Reforged mod pack. Over here where we had the little Minecraft clock, we have an actual clock balanced on a shelf. Instead of a slab block we have a specific corner shelf block, and instead of a lantern I've opted for a little chandelier. alongside the fire you have little details like a bellows and just a rack for tool implements. Now if you use the victory mod, there are additional decorations you can use, and there's an actual little fireplace set. Here we have the sofas I made. Now they are Conquest Reforged specifics chairs, but I've added some vertical slabs to the back and some rail slabs to the sides as armrests. Now it's very important when you're building with Minecraft, but in Conquest Reforged in particular, to be creative. Don't limit yourself to just building a chair by just placing a block down. Try and add to it. It adds to the detail, it adds to the immersion, and it adds to the overall beauty of your build. Over here underneath the chandelier and shelf, there was in the vanilla version just a chest, because there's a lack of decorative blocks within the vanilla pack. Here I was able to add a smaller chest, a little musket rack, a flower pot, and where you had some sea pickles and stuff just to add decoration, you have a chess set, an actual table, a nice little decorative telescope, again more decoration on top of the bookshelf, which has been covered with a glass slab as a little door, and again just some vertical slabs just to add to the actual characteristics of it. The bureau is vastly more detailed. We can add things like inkwells and books and papers to it, and a little chair just to have someone sit down on it. The table between the sofas, rather than just a scaffolding, there's an actual table block. I used a circular one with just an additional block of cards just to indicate people are playing cards. Again, little details like that add life to the build. Instead of an armor set, I opted for just a little shelving unit, a fancy shelving unit as it's called. I feel it's just a little bit more immersive. Again, over here, instead of barrel blocks, I was able to add some vertical slabs as an actual cupboard as such, and again used the clothes rack as shelves and just added some keys and some additional decorations on top. And then finally, just to point out the beams that support the ceiling. Again, Conquest Reforged has dozens of these beam blocks. You don't only have to use beam blocks, there's lots of other options available, but they are far more realistic than slabs. Now I have touched upon that in one or two of my videos before, so there you have it. That's them in use. So again, I would like to think that this, by just looking at it, is reason enough for you to consider moving to the Conquest Reforged mod pack. It really does vastly improve all the details of a build. Even small things like the door into the room here has a little gothic arch and some tall doors that again are specific to the mod pack itself. So this in itself is only a small flavor of the decorations that are available within Conquest Reforged. There are infinite possibilities and combinations to design your own lovely interiors, but this is it for this particular video. I shall just add a small addendum, I think, just detailing how you can, in some ways, you can just improve upon even the blocks themselves to add detail to your build. The next interiors video rather, I shall probably do something like kitchens, because again that's an area that most builds would have within them or within the houses. So again, now on to the small addendum. And finally, here we are. As I've mentioned, this is just a short segment just to detail how you can increase the detailing on some of the base blocks to hopefully increase immersion and realism in your build. So here we have the base chair that I'm going to use in the next couple of examples, and by itself it is a lovely block and it's a lovely decoration. but as I said, it can be further enhanced. So in this example, I've just used some clothes racks and a little Baroque back just to give it a little bit more of a fancy look, probably a period piece in the Baroque era or something along those lines. In this one, I've just used a slab at the back, a vertical slab of wood, and some rail blocks as armrests. And in this one, I've just used vertical slabs again as armrests and as a back to the chair, a high back, and it can be used for something more like a throne or something along those lines. If you are backing against the wall, don't let that prevent you from adding detail to your builds. For example, in this one, you can use the chair does indeed back up against the wall, but I've used some rail blocks to give the chair a back, and again, I think it makes it look just a little bit more detailed, a little bit more immersive. And finally, in this one, I've combined two. This is not against the back of a wall. It couldn't be because I have vertical slabs behind it, as you can see, but I've topped them off with some rails, and again, that just adds a little bit more detail, and just again, it's an example of how you can further enhance your builds to increase the detailing of your builds and hopefully make them a little bit more satisfactory. But at the moment, that's all I have time for, so hopefully you got something from this video. If you did, I would really appreciate you liking and commenting on the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm quite small and I do appreciate every single sub. Would love to know your thoughts on this video. If you have further ideas as to how you can detail things like this, please let me know. We're always learning and we all can share and learn from each other. So again, thank you for watching. If you have, I appreciate it greatly. But until the next time, stay frosty and goodbye.